You can choose to be happy now. You can choose it. I know it sounds crazy. So, what would I say to somebody is you have the power.
All right, it's true. Money cannot buy you happiness. And yet, it's such an important part of our lives. It's such an important harbinger to our happiness. So, how do we consider that money is such an important part of our lives? It can't buy us happiness, but it can buy us something like freedom or opportunity or options. How do we reconcile this relationship, this stickiness with money, whatever that is for you? Today, I'm having a phenomenal woman on the podcast. Her name is Diana Greshtchuk, and I know you're going to find value in this conversation. First of all, she brings such an amazing energy to the conversation. So you're going to light up just when she starts speaking. But she is a financial literacy coach. She is a CPA. She is the CEO of Fan Your Flame LLC, and she supports entrepreneurs and men and women alike to try to understand their relationship with money and to work on a mindset shift for them to imagine a new understanding and belief system around money. She's powerful. She's knowledgeable. She is your financial best friend. And I cannot wait for you to meet her. Join me in welcoming Diana Greshtchuk. Hello, and welcome to the Business of Happiness podcast. I'm your host, Dr. Tarryn MacCarthy, and today, guys, is going to be such a good day. We have with us an incredible human who I'm so excited to introduce to you. She will introduce herself. It is Diana Greshtchuk, and she's amazing in all things money. Diana, welcome to the show.
Thank you so much for having me, Taryn. Since the moment we met, I was so excited to speak to you about the business of happiness.
So cool. Right back at you. Right back at you. I'm so happy to have you here because, as we were saying before we started recording, we need to have a better, healthier relationship with money. This is something that's holding so many of us back from realizing true happiness and success. And I cannot wait to hear your perspective on this. Now, you come to us from a varied background. So, share with us a little bit about your journey and your relationship with money along the way.
Absolutely. So, first of all, thank you. You pronounced my last name right. It's Diana Greshtchuk. I just founded my own company called Fan Your Flame, and it is a financial literacy coaching business. I am a CPA in the state of California. I work also in private equity as a controller and VP of fund accounting and finance for a private equity firm based in Los Angeles. And what I'm here today to talk about is around money can't buy you happiness. But what money does is money allows you to be comfortable so you can focus on the things that make you happy.
Absolutely. That's so true. And one of the things I've noticed is that many of us are comfortable making money, but not very comfortable earning it. Does that make sense? I feel like there's so many people who have a hard time actually accepting the money that they make.
Right, because they don't view themselves as the asset that's generating those cash flows. You yourself as a person are an asset. You're worthy of investment. You make a lot of money because you're good at what you do. You've been trained, you went to college, you learned the things that bring in the income, and you are worthy of making that money.
Mm. Now, was there ever a time in your life, Diana, where you didn't feel that way?
Oh, goodness, yes.
Mm.
Like so many of us, I think all of us inherit our money stories from our parents. And my parents, while I was born in Silicon Valley, they had high-paying jobs, but there never seemed to be enough money. They don't know where it went. There were arguments about how the money was spent. There was, bad investments, buying things that cost a lot that maybe we didn't need. And then there were things that we did need that we didn't have the money for. And there was a lot of lack and scarcity around that.
Hmm. So, how did that impact you as an adult?
Well, what it did is it made me not ever want to worry about money. All my parents did was say, Diana, you're going to get a job, you're going to go to college. And I only believed that because I was like, God, I see you guys fighting about money and I don't want that for myself. I don't want to worry about it. So what did I do? I went to college and I double majored in finance and accounting because, gosh, I didn't want to worry about money. So I just wanted to know about it and have it come easily. And I thought, gosh, accountants are always going to be employable. Little did I know that accountants as a career, we get kind of treated like dogs. We get underpaid, huge amounts of hours. Nobody takes breaks. Most people end up with a drinking problem or other coping mechanisms. You put on 30 pounds. It's not healthy for your own self care. And it didn't make me happy.
Hmm. But did it bring you money along the way?
It did. I've got a 401k.
Mm,
I'm comfortable. I managed to buy my own house. I made money, but it wasn't ever equated with happiness.
yeah. So what was missing?
The joy,
Mhm.
the passion, the gratitude,
Mm.
all of it. The feeling powerful, the feeling good about myself. I didn't feel good about myself when I put on 30 pounds and, had lots of alcohol. Like, you don't feel good about yourself like that.
Mm. Mm. Yeah, it's so interesting because I think so many of us share in that journey where we reach for something outside of ourselves. And as you mentioned, money doesn't buy you happiness, but it can get you freedom.
Mhm.
It can get you so many things that we forget to recognize when we have that money. I mean, I know of so many people who have opportunities for freedom but don't take them, or opportunities for finding help or support, paying someone to help you lose those 30 pounds, or paying someone to help you with for a new mindset or a mindset shift, but they don't see that opportunity in terms of their freedom and their power.
I certainly didn't. When I
Mm,
worked at one of the big four accounting firms, I honestly felt a little chained to my desk. And as many wonderful opportunities as it afforded me, as much as they did pay me, and I saved and I lived frugally, it just I didn't feel like I had that freedom, and especially with accounting, for example. Our busy season is January to April. For a
mm.
lot of people that do taxes, April is just obscene. People don't sleep, they eat terribly, have food brought in, and it's not sustainable.
So what was the shift for you? What made that change in perspective?
Great question. And unfortunately, it's one of those scenarios. I had to lose my parents, unfortunately. So I lost my father in 2013. I was living in Australia at the time, working for one of those big four accounting firms because I had a wonderful opportunity to have a secondment in their Sydney, Australia office. So I was trying to
Mm.
find happiness living in another country. Unfortunately, I lost my father. And just recently, at the beginning of COVID, I lost my mother. And it showed me that, life is short, and if you're not happy, it's never too late to go out and figure out what makes you happy. Take time for that. There's one life, as we kind of know it right now. We don't know how many opportunities we get. At least in this one, live it the way you want.
Mm.
Find what I call happiness islands, or what Richard Koch calls in his book The 80/20 Principle, happiness islands. Those little moments of joy that when you look at your life, they're sprinkled in, that you just felt that maximum joy, you felt free, you felt most yourself. And losing my parents is what showed me that, what, you don't have a lot of time and it's later than you think. Go out and find your happiness.
And what was that for you?
I was sick of working for other people where I didn't get to bring my creativity. I have a lot of creativity gifts that I haven't opened yet that I would love to share with the world. I'm a coach. Even I had to work beliefs around that to believe I am a coach. And I was doing it in my daily job. I had coaches that were organized under me, and I really have a lot of gifts with developing people, and it's not all just crunching numbers. And so really focusing on the gifts. Yes, maybe I opened certain gifts that came with me, to become an accountant, to become a finance professional, but I have so many more gifts that aren't that. And life is about opening all your gifts that you can and maximizing and squeezing all the joy from them that you can.
Mm. Oh, that's beautiful. That's beautiful. So what have you learned about yourself along the way, along this journey, in terms of the gifts that you maybe didn't notice before?
Ooh, that's a good question. I think what I learned is how passionate I can be. People don't think about accounting as a passionate job. They don't think about finance as a passion. Money isn't passionate. It buys you things, it's power, it's all those things, but is it really passion? Is it joy? And that's what I found is that I really, in some of the work that I do, I think about the emotions that I want to feel 24 hours a day. Those emotions I want to feel are passion and gratitude and limitlessness. And so I was without passion for so long in my life. And it turns out that's one of the things I want the most. That's what I learned. Gratitude. I'm so grateful for my parents and everything that they give me. And, the biggest gift they gave me in their passing is this freedom to be whoever I want to be without restriction and to go find what it is that makes me passionate. So, with gratitude and with passion, I can then become limitless,
Mm.
do whatever I want if I come from a place of those two emotions.
Wow, that's really cool. Really cool and really abundant. One of the things that we wish money could buy for us, you just did in a few sentences. You just created in terms of a vision, an emotional vision.
And it's even hard for a lot of people who are in, the medical field and the accounting field. They're what I call neck uppers. They don't live in a place of emotion. They power on, powering on, soldiering on, just getting through. That's a trauma response. When
Mm,
you're not paying attention to anything, but you're just trying to get through, that's a trauma response.
mm,
I've learned that in the medical field, actually, what your body does with a trauma response. And you end up needing to heal from a
mm,
trauma response. Workplace trauma is real. I've been through experiences where just somebody pulling HR into the room for a meeting can set me off into, oh my God, are they going to fire me? Why is HR here?
mm, mm. I think money does that too. I think conversations around money can also trigger trauma responses. You mentioned earlier about, childhood conversations with money and fear wrapped around it. How do you help your clients when they're having a trauma response to money?
Oh, that's the best part. That's when I go into the work around actually calming your nervous system.
Mm,
So, when a lot of people get activated around that, when they come to me with massive mountains of debt that they want to get out of, but they don't have a plan to get out of it, it literally becomes calming your nervous system. So,
mm,
there are modalities out there like breathing, just simple breathing, box
mm,
breathing. I
mm,
set breathing alarms on my phone. I
mm,
have 5 breathing alarms throughout the day just to help me bring awareness in the moment. How am I feeling right now when this alarm goes off? Am I activated? Am I nervous? Am I sweating? How do I feel about my money right now? Have I checked my bank balance today? Does that make me activated?
mm,
And so by simply noticing where you are when that alarm goes off and then just doing simple box breathing of in for 4, hold for 4, out for 4, hold for 4, or other types of breathing. There's alternate nostril breathing that can calm your vagus nerve. You know this, you're nodding. So simply breathing can calm your nervous system. There's other modalities around tapping and literally just getting back into your body and getting out of your head. That's the main thing when you're dealing with money is that it gets so cerebral. And we want to come at it from a place of how does it feel in my body? Like, can I be okay and relaxed checking my bank balance? Can I be okay paying a credit card? Am I putting off opening my bills or am I opening my bills with ease right now? Do I have a favorite bill envelope opener? I do. I don't know if y'all
I love that, by the way. That's awesome. That's a good one. Yeah, I think it's so funny. It's one of these things we don't talk about enough, but money brings up a lot of old belief systems that might have attached themselves to you along the way. Things about shame,
do.
definitely worthiness.
Mhm.
And I think another big one when you were talking about the neck uppers, those of us who are really good at just showing up and working really hard, is in order to make money, I have to work really hard and tear myself down and work myself to the bone. That old belief that if it's too easy, that this isn't, I'm not worthy of it.
The hustle, I can sleep when I'm dead. I have 24 hours a day to work. I gotta squeeze blood from a rock and hustle every single moment. And I will tell you, the 80-20 principle that I already mentioned, it's the exact opposite of that. And most business professionals know that, look, my time is really valuable. And so I'm not gonna work 24 hours a day. You will get 8 hours of my time. That work will be spectacular in those 8 hours. That's what I'm available for. And you begin to focus on the hours in the day that are spent on the most valuable uses of your time. As a new business creator, there are uses of my time like building a website, marketing. I'm a CPA. I'm not a marketer. I'm not a website designer. So I have to understand, outsourcing and choosing a team that complements my skill set to help me, and I trust them and I bring them in for what they're good at. And it helps me be a better entrepreneur when I have a team of a website designer, a marketer, whatever it is that I need. So I can focus my most valuable time on helping people, on looking at their numbers and really providing the value that they need. My time isn't best spent like crunching numbers and doing someone's tax returns or whatever it is. There are better uses of my time. So it's not about the hustle. That's a lie. That's a myth. Let that shit go. Can I swear on your podcast?
That's totally fine. Yeah, if you're listening to this podcast, chances are you didn't get into business to be miserable. The problem is that people feel that if their business gets busier, if they start becoming more successful, that happiness will eventually set in. But it can actually get worse. This is why I created the Business of Happiness Prosperity Coaching. In this one-on-one coaching, we look at how to redefine success on your terms and re-find the joy and the passion in your dream. Visit me at thebizofhappiness.com and become the happiest business owner you know. I was thinking of a story, and I'll share this with you, Diana. When I first opened up my orthodontic practice, those first few years are hard. You're putting in money and investing in yourself and not seeing a lot of return in the first few months to years. And I'll never forget the first bonus check I wrote to myself, a hefty $30,000 check. And I was so proud. And my partner and I celebrated, and we were so excited. And 3 months later, she came to me and she said, "Tarryn, what's up? You haven't cashed that check yet." And it was so interesting to me because I had no idea that I had this weird relationship with money. I never noticed it about myself before. And I realized that I felt like it was too easy. Like I wasn't doing the grind. I wasn't working hard enough. I'd up-leveled my business to a place where there was some ease and some flow. And it was finally seeing a return on my investment, but that felt uncomfortable for me. And the reason why I bring it up is because I wanted to know your perspective on our lifelong relationship with money as it changes. I think your relationship with money when you're younger, you're starting to learn more about it, trying to understand, maybe undo some of those old stories. But what's your perspective on a changing, growing relationship with money?
Oh, absolutely. It's something that I've had throughout my life. I'm so excited that you asked this question. I think, when I was younger, it was all about the hustle and just accumulate as much as you can. Don't think about it, run on autopilot. And that money story. And you mentioned the emotions around shame and worthiness. And I'll go even further: guilt,
Yeah,
anxiety, people not
huge guilt.
sleeping at night, guilt for what you do spend money on, for hiring that person to help you, for
Mm,
not being able to do it yourself. And I think there's also this level, and I don't want it to get a bad connotation because I don't think it has a bad connotation. There's a level of emotional addiction. And what you were talking about is that emotional addiction to it has to be hard. It has to be a hustle. And there's a new level in a money story where it doesn't have to be hard. That money story can evolve to it's easy to earn money. I can sit here and enjoy a nice vacation at a five-star hotel in Florida in the pool having a drink, and I'm making money right now. I've got passive income earning for me. I'm at ease. It is safe to earn money while I'm on vacation. Leisure is a money making activity. Let's talk about an evolved money story. It went from hustling to leisure makes me money. How's that? It can happen.
That is really cool. That is, talk about putting it on its head, turning it on its head. That's amazing. That's awesome. That's
Yeah. So,
awesome.
what if you could run your business to the point where you have a team that has focused on the 20% of your clients that bring in 80% of your revenues, and you streamline the processes for those clients? You make sure their experience with you is flawless. They see the value. They have no problem if you raise your prices. It becomes a sustainable, growing business. Your clients feel cared for. You're earning money because it is like magic out there. People want to be cared for, and all you have to do is focus on the 20% that brings you the 80% of your revenues. Focus on the 20% of your time that makes you the 80% most productive. It's not about the hustle. You can create the reality of your dreams.
So beautiful. Beautifully said. What do you say to those people who say, "Yeah, Diana, easy for you to say. You own your own business." Maybe somebody who isn't a leader of their business.
Oh,
How
it
can
wasn't
they?
always like this. My
Mm.
grandfather was a janitor. Another grandfather worked as a garbage man. Okay. I was born and raised in Silicon Valley. Yes, nominally, my parents had jobs that made a lot of money, but at the same time, it was completely scarce. I came from a place of we didn't have money for braces. Look at this gap. Look at big old
It's
Madonna gap in my teeth.
it's beautiful, Diana. It's beautiful.
But it's, and I really feel that millennials and younger generations now are getting squeezed even more. For me, what makes me passionate is disrupting this disproportionate distribution of wealth. The 1% has all the wealth and they're squeezing 99% of us down. So for millennials, I hear you. Do you know that college enrollments have dropped by 5%? That I think that translates to about 1 million students now are opting to get jobs in an economy and not go to college because they're seeing that actually going to college isn't that valuable. It's supposed to be a way to invest in yourself and become an asset. Yet I can't afford colleges. They're raising prices, student loans, the debt that accumulates, the interest on the student loans. It's becoming more and more unaffordable. So I get these millennials that are like, I don't have time to go to college. I don't have the money for that. I have to survive. I want to have a family. I have 2 kids already. I need to figure this out. And they freak out because they just know that they have to work for the rest of their lives in this thankless rat race hustle, this hamster wheel. And there's got to be a better life than that. And there is.
Hmm. What would you say, Diana, is your superpower? I mean, I see so many incredible superpowers in you. I see so much of you in that I admire. But what do you see in yourself is your primary superpower in this world?
That's so funny. I just had a conversation about that this weekend. And for me, it has to be perspective. I'm really good. I call it seats at a dinner table. Okay.
Mhm.
So if I've always sat at the same seat at the dinner table with my family, my seat in the middle is that's my seat. I'm going to have that perspective. Whenever I look to the left, I see mom. Whenever I look to the right, I see dad, or however my family is made up, right? If I have siblings across the table or aunts or uncles or grandparents that live with me, but you always have that same seat at the table. My superpower is being able to extricate myself and pull myself out of that seat and go put myself in another seat. Go put myself in somebody's shoes. Look at it from a different perspective to see other possibilities that are out there. Because when we talk about perspective, we might see one screen that we're looking at. And from my perspective, I see an oval. But from somebody else's perspective, they see a rectangle. Neither one of us are wrong. But we're going to argue about no, it's an oval. No, it's a rectangle. And we're going to argue about that and not see eye to eye. But if I can pull myself out to get that perspective and see it from another's point of view or see it from a bigger picture point of view, that's where that perspective really brings the wisdom. And so by seeing those other perspectives that are available, I think that's where I can offer alternatives that are outside of the box, that turn known idioms and ways of being on their heads and disrupting inertia. So I have a website, www.disruptinginertia.com, that talks about really you have the power to change the path you're on. You have the power to change your beliefs. And Tarryn, I know you work a little bit and understand the concepts of neuroplasticity and neuroscience, reprogramming your brain. So by changing perspective, simply breathing or taking an elevator up or however you want to vision it, you can change how you're looking at things, and it doesn't have to be so hard. It doesn't have to be so bad. Maybe by changing perspective, you can find something amazing about it or refine the joy in a career that you love, that you really don't want to let go of, you know? I think that perspective is my superpower because I can do it for myself and I can do it for other people.
So give us a little perspective shift for that listener who's sitting there thinking, you know what? I am working so hard and I never seem to make enough money. I will be happy when I make X amount of money. How
Ooh,
do you help us see a new
conditional
perspective
happiness.
there?
That
Yeah, conditional
conditional happiness.
happiness.
I'll be happy when I get promoted to CFO. I'll finally be happy when I have a partner. I'll finally be happy when I have kids. I'll finally be happy when I'm clearing 7 figures in my business.
Mhm.
You know what? That happiness isn't going to come from outside you because I'll tell you what, when you finally get that partner, when you have those kids, is that really what's going to make you happy? Is it? Because then you're gonna find something else to be miserable about then. "Oh, I have to drive the kids to school. I have to do all this stuff. Oh, my business, now that it's 7 figures, I need to do all this other stuff that I hate doing." It's like there's always this condition on it, and then it's about satisfying those conditions. And
Mm.
really, you can choose to be happy now. You can choose it. I know it sounds crazy. So what would I say to somebody is, "You have the power. You really do. Don't hang your happiness on something that's outside of you. It's all inside of you. If you love your business, if you love what you do, maybe let's hit pause. Let's take a little break and relook at your business and where the pain points are. Maybe you could, by taking a look at your processes, say, gosh, client intake is really, really hard on me. And I would really love to spend more hours of my day doing this so I can sit in my gratitude and my passion. I don't want to sit in the admin. So, really, if you could take a look and pull yourself out with perspective and look at this non judgmental observation of how things are going, I'm sure you can find little places to tweak here and little places to tweak there that might infinitely increase your happiness.
Very cool. Very cool. Oh, Diana, thank you for all that you do. Thank you for everything that you're bringing. Thank you for being a disruptor. Thank you for being that unique perspective for others when they need it most. I'm going to put all of your links in the show notes so that our listeners can find you. And thank you for letting us know about disruptinginertia.com. But for those audience members who are driving right now who are thinking, gosh, I need to work with Diana, I need some support here, tell us how we can find you.
Absolutely. So I have a website, www.fan-your-flame.com. My company's called Fan Your Flame. And within that, you can work with me one-on-one. We have set packages for set amounts of time. What we do is you get financially naked with me. Ooh. So we take a look. I have you self-report to me your current financial snapshot. We go through your assets, your liabilities, your sources of income, your expenses. We look at where your pain points are. We look at, are you saving for retirement? Are you overspending? Are you in debt? Where is the triage? When clients come to me, it's usually because I liken it to an emergency room. They're bleeding out. We have to stop the bleeding. We have to stop that immediate thing that brought you into me. Because what's so interesting is that financial health, people keep it private because it's so taboo to talk about your finances. Nobody ever talks about money. I don't know if for you, growing up, we had family business. You don't talk about your money with people. And that's what I offer in my services is I'm your best financial friend. I'm that trusted person you can come to who I don't want to see your bank accounts, but let's look at your numbers as you see them and as you have all the evidence. And let's play with some levers to look at what you can do to increase your streams of income. passive income, mixing up your current revenue streams and analyzing that, looking at your expenses, how you're spending money, helping you come up with a plan to pay off debt. So many things. There's even mindset stuff I do where, for one client, we had a funeral for the old version of her that got her into debt. I call it with the bad money story, but it's not bad. We don't judge it. But by having a funeral for her and having a eulogy that really creates a vision
Mm.
for what they do want to be remembered for, all the things they did with their money, this charity they helped, this
Mm.
person they helped support, all these things they did in the world, the impact they had, that mindset, that money mindset shift is also what I do. So when we look at your current financial snapshot, we figure out the homework items that we need to do to get you to a better place. We then check in on your snapshot periodically to look at how your numbers have changed based on that. So I do that in my one-on-one work. I also have some group programs coming up this year that I'm super excited about.
Yes, tell us about those, please.
Absolutely. So, since my mother passed away in 2020, I've started working with a wonderful life coach named Tracy Litt, and she has a body of work called Mind Magic. And Mind Magic is all about neuroplasticity and reprogramming your thoughts to believe what you need to believe to do the thing. If the thing that you want to do is retire by 35, okay, what do we need to do now to get that in place? If you want to spend more time with your family and create passive streams of income to not worry about money, what do we need to do right now to do that? Let's start working those beliefs about yourself. I'm a person who takes vacation. I'm a person, I'm a CEO who does this. I'm a chiropractor, a dentist, there's so many. I'm a CPA that does this. And let's build that life for you. I have ease, I take vacations, I have my retirement growing. And that body of work, that group work, there's going to be a 4-week course, there's going to be a 12-week course where we really dive into your beliefs, your disempowering ones, and reprogram them to be empowering beliefs.
I love that. All right, where do we find that one? At that f Where do we find that 4 or 6 or 12-week course? Where do we find it?
So that'll all be on the services page of my Fan Your Flame website. It's gonna
Got it.
be there. You can book a free discovery call with me. There's lots of ways.
Very cool.
Love to get started with folks. I'm on multiple podcasts as well, so you might hear me in other places. I'm starting to be all over the place because you know what? I might be a CPA, but marketing I have to learn a little bit to do for my business. And I'm a CEO who learns constantly. That's one of my big beliefs is lifelong learning. And so I'm willing to be humble and exercise those gifts I don't know yet to be able to grow in that space.
Amazing. I honor you, Diana. So, so grateful to know you and so excited to see where this next year takes you. And thank you so much for joining us here today.
Absolutely. Thanks for having me, Taryn.
And thank you to all of you for being open minded and hearing a new perspective and for meeting this incredible woman that I've been dying to introduce you to. And remember, when you feel good, that's when you can start doing some real good in this world. Bye bye.